Pittsburgh.
I was just gonna say, man, they're taking L's in the off season too.
So that's going. And record. I almost wonder if I should just do a testing real quick. Let's.
Yeah, sure.
I'll do. So we're streaming right now, but we're gonna test. See, this is the extra bit that the YouTube people get.
Yeah, they get a little.
We're gonna
bit.
do a test to see how Adam picks up on the mic. So go ahead and just say something.
Something.
Okay.
Oh.
So go ahead and just say something.
I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Okay, I think it sounds about right.
Sounds better, but I need to keep the volume up on him a bit. So let's try this again.
I know I'm not much of a camera or I'm not a camera person.
That's fine. Well, give a hot take. That's what the show's
Give a
known
hot
for.
take.
I don't have any hot take. I was prepared for hot take.
I only have cold takes. Lukewarm takes.
What do you mean? What do you want for a hot take?
I don't know. Just saying. We're just mic testing right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just rambling.
This is gonna be.
I don't have any hot takes,
All
so
right,
I'll keep
play it.
rambling. Much of a camera or I'm not a camera person.
Okay, so
It
that
sounds
should
good.
that should be fine.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds good.
for picking off a speaker, yeah, that'll be great. Okay,
I don't think my number one pick is gonna be too unobvious.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
more I researched it, the more obvious it's not, I guess.
I think it's obvious to me.
I think now I
But,
might.
I know it's obvious to you.
Well,
I think I might know now.
I already know who he's taking, but
I
that's
think I have
fine
an idea.
because I'm picking two, which means I get one of my top two on my big board no matter what. But let's get into this right now. I'm going to start the show with the RIP in 3, 2, 1. This episode of Long Shot Sportscast is dedicated to the life and memory of Hank Aaron, who passed away this morning at the age of 86. One of the all-time greats. He shattered racial barriers in baseball and has still to this day 35 years since his retirement it's actually 45 years since his retirement. Still has a number of records in America's favorite game and
And in my heart, he is the home run king.
absolutely
Yeah.
700.
755 home runs to his name, 3,717, I believe, runs batted in. All-time great, and he'll be deeply missed with not just the baseball world, but the sporting world as a whole. So R.I.P.
Yeah, growing up as a kid, playing baseball and all that. I mean, that was one of the big names, Hank Aaron. I mean, everybody knows Hank Aaron, so really sad day.
Definitely. So, welcome to Long Shot Sportscast, Longview, Washington's #1 sports-related podcast. That is a tall list. I'm your host, Mike Holm. With me, as always, is Brady Rucola.
Good afternoon.
And back from playing on the hooks after Mr. Krabs told him not to, Skylar Lovingfoss.
I should have came. The day on the golf course was miserable.
Yeah. Well, you should have. And we have a guest on the show today because we're doing something a little out of the box. So with us is the proud pilot, the Duke of Drones, Captain Redbeard himself from the paint shop, Mr. Adam McQuaid. How we doing, Adam?
What's happening?
Oh, we knew from the get-go when we started this show that we wanted to get you on as a guest, a frequent collaborator, to kind of talk sports and this and that. And we were going to kind of have a revolving door around football season, and COVID kind of quashed that. But we're happy to have you here via Hangouts, just shooting the shit. We've got an awesome episode. We're going to talk head coaching, kind of the NFL head coach hires that have happened in the last week or two. And then we're going to go into, briefly, Pittsburgh may or may not have made a mistake. And then we are going to do a snake draft, very much in the same vein that Barstool Chicago does. But we are going to be drafting all-time NFL draft busts. So, without further ado, why don't we get the Dwayne Haskins news out of the way? Dwayne Haskins has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, is that their guy after Ben? Has he came out and said he's retiring or no?
No, he's not retiring.
On to head coaching hires. No, Dwayne Haskins, this could be interesting for a number of reasons. First of all, he's a first-round talent. We know this. His maturity level has just been what's brought him down the last couple seasons, big time. His decision-making on and off the field. But is this the Saints? Is this like their Jameis moment that they're trying to make here? Like, are they trying to kind of pull this guy out of the mud a little bit and look at the potential and go, hey, Ben's... What I see, this is a desperation
The Jameis
move.
thing's a little different, though, because he was a...
And Jameis is going. Jameis went to a team where they've got upstanding people.
Yeah.
Haskins just went to a team with.
I don't know, man. The whole... I get Haskins.
With
He was
guys
all that
like
in college.
Juju and.
But since he's been in the league, I mean, come on.
I just think
Well,
personally...
I kind of compare the situation to same way Aaron Rodgers came in with the retiring legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to get something out of
Maybe.
Jameis. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they're
But
trying to follow that formula.
He needed to go
some
to
extent.
a team with people in good headspaces, and in Pittsburgh, it's just.
Well, I mean, didn't even happen in Pittsburgh. It happened in Washington. What do you mean? Like
Well, but personally with Pittsburgh, what I think is there's a bit of a desperation move. This is a team that has kind of a high first round pick. They're not going to be able to get one of the top quarterbacks available. Is that my dog?
that sounds like Bosa.
I don't think it's your dog.
Anyway, they don't have a high pick. They're probably not going to get one of the top 4
Locked
quarterbacks
up around the
available.
wheels somehow. I can't get my headphones on.
Technical difficulties. And Ben Roethlisberger's going to be out. Mason Rudolph, not the future of that franchise. What I see here is a team that doesn't want to, pony up the cash to trade for a Matt Ryan or a Matthew Stafford. They don't want to take a chance on Sam Bradford. Or not Bradford, I'm sorry, Darnold.
Wow. It's a blast from the past.
I haven't done one of those in a while.
Speaking of bust,
Yeah, he could be on your list.
And then, they see Haskins as kind of a low cost, low risk, depending on if they get another year out of Ben, option.
Bingo.
Because if they get him for 1 year, say Ben does retire or something, if he plays even remotely well with those weapons, I mean, remember, what was the one thing we talked about with Washington? Washington's got like one guy receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
Although
Scary Terry.
Taylor Heineke made Cam Sims look like a motherfucking superstar in
Yeah.
that playoff game. Cam Sims came to play, and he did. This is very low risk, high reward, in my opinion.
I
mean,
agree.
I'm
I
kind of
agree.
the Dwayne Haskins truther, or at least I was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not high on the guy, but like you said, it's one of those things where they don't have to go spend the cash. I mean, Haskins, he kind of seems like a cancer to the team, but maybe they think they can do something with him, or they can maybe mature him a little bit, something
Yeah.
to point him in the right direction. Because it's not like he's. I mean, we saw what he did in college.
Yeah.
He's had
Yeah.
a few good games in the NFL. Nothing crazy, but like maybe they see something in him that they like and that they know what they're doing. I don't know.
This could be a case also.
I don't think it's going to work out. But
This could be a case where he doesn't even make the final roster too.
Right.
I mean, we've seen early signings like this that just don't pan out. But
well, they probably just want to take a look at
Well,
it. Maybe
he could- he could-
maybe they see something that Washington did wrong with him. Maybe they want to, like you said, he may not make the cut.
maybe you guys are seeing something I don't, because I didn't even really see anything too special in Haskins to begin with.
Well, I said in college. I said in the NFL he had maybe a couple good games, but nothing like. And I can't even say he played a full game like well.
yeah.
Or very great. But I saw some signs in there that I've seen in college, what I've seen him do.
I
But
mean, I've been saying for months though, he needs a good quarterback coach to tighten
Yeah.
the screws, and that's where I think that's like where Jameis is really benefiting from that year in New Orleans. Sean Payton's a former QB coach.
Yeah.
Payton is partially responsible for Tony Romo, developing and becoming that starter for the Cowboys. Laugh all you want, but that guy held that job down for 10, 11 years. And he
he's a
consistently
hell of a
put up numbers.
commentator.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah. That's all for the Dwayne Haskins news. We want to fire off, kind of do a rapid fire opinion on some of these head coaching hires. Obviously, the first we heard was Urban Meyer. I think we talked about that briefly on the show last week.
Yeah, we did a little
because
bit.
you brought up what if they take Justin Fields at
Yes, that
quarterback.
was the big debate.
I just
Still
don't.
is.
I just don't think
I
so.
think
Well, and then he
I-
even solidified it. Well, not solidified. Pretty much made you think too, even more when he said, "What did he say? This is the biggest decision of my coaching career."
Rich Eisen said he would eat an Ohio State hat if they take Justin Fields first.
Well, now I want him to take just.
he said that they do it if they don't take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think it happens, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that surprised if
I
it
wouldn't
did.
either.
I don't know.
You guys have the tinfoil hats firmly applied here. I just don't see it happening. What say you, Adam? Trevor Lawrence, he's the number one, yes or yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, would your opinion change or sway a little more if he would have played better in that national championship game, or say he won the
No.
national championship
Because here's the difference between Trevor Lawrence
game?
and
That wouldn't change your opinion a little
no,
bit?
it wouldn't, because Trevor Lawrence has been regarded as probably the most sure thing at quarterback since Andrew Luck was to be picked. At the end of the day, when Joe Burrow went number one, we weren't talking about him all season long. It was Tua for about 8 or 9 weeks, and then Burrow came on, and we were talking about Burrow at number one.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, we've known he was going to be the number one pick of the 2021 draft since last football season. We've been saying
Yeah,
when he comes up,
That's
he'll
what I
be
was
one.
thinking.
And
Yeah, that's true.
that's the big difference here. Justin,
The only reason I say the Fields thing, and just like we were just I mean, it was his coach, and maybe he sees
Yeah.
something in the kid
Yeah.
that nobody else did because he worked with him.
I just think the value right there, and if you want to get off on the best foot with this team, this is a team that's you have enough young players you got to develop already. These are like this isn't a bad team, I would say, for Jacksonville. They're just young. They just need a push, and you need to make the right moves right off the bat. This is a guy who in college has never had a losing season.
Oh yeah, if you want to play it safe,
Absolutely.
well, probably.
How big of a splash would it be? He comes out and drafts Fields.
Oh,
number
that
one
would
pick.
shake the whole draft up.
Be
man.
huge.
It would shake the whole draft up.
So with him, I hear just a lot of glowing, glowing optimism for Urban Meyer. And how could you not? I mean, for crying out loud, with
Yeah,
the
what a
last
tenure
4
he's had
years
over
and
there.
and the last 3 or 4 seasons in Jacksonville, having to watch that, it's been rough. So we're looking good with him. Now the Jets, they got Robert Saleh, Niners defensive coordinator, dude, just intense on the
Yeah,
sidelines.
we were talking about that briefly too last week.
Yeah.
Of just how intense he
love
is,
it.
and he's just rah, just high energy, and I think that's what the Jets could definitely use
Definitely
over there.
especially with some of their young kids on defense.
Different change of pace.
It's pretty obvious now. They're gonna make a change at QB. I would think. I think Darnold gets traded to a squad that can kind of give him some new life. But they've got to make a change at quarterback to get off on the right foot here.
Yep.
Yeah, they ruined that kid. They ruined
They
him.
ruined him. Yeah. But I think Saleh is a step in the right direction for sure. Just an intense defensive mind. And they could be getting C.J. Mosley back next year, who opted out this
Opted
season.
out because of the COVID,
And
yeah.
that's a leader that defense desperately needs, especially after losing Jamal
Now
Adams.
more than ever.
So we move to who else got jobs?
Well-
Detroit's coach.
Yeah, who got that one? I forget.
I got to remember his
Hold
name.
on, I got to pull it up.
How could I forget? He was hilarious. Dan Campbell, I think his name is. Yeah, Dan Campbell. Did you guys hear his speech yesterday?
I did not.
Oh, he came in and said, "You know what? This is a city that's been beaten and bruised, and it finds a way to get back up." And he says, "And you know what? I want to instill a philosophy with this team that when we go down, we bite a kneecap off, and we come up and we take 2 more shots, then we bite another kneecap off, and then we take 3 shots, and we can."
All right, dude.
He literally said, "You know what? I can come out here and say, everything's gonna be rosy and blah blah blah, but you know what? I think you fans are tired of that shit." He said that on his press conference, like his introductory press
Hey,
conference.
I mean, lay it all out there,
Dude.
Like, why not?
I want this guy to succeed. I think Detroit's been such a sad sack franchise for so
For way too
long.
long, right? I remember when they used to be a little respectable. I mean,
they've had like 3 playoff berths
Yeah.
in the last like 30 years or something like that. Like, yeah, I want this guy to do well, especially because he's such a character. Former tight ends
I
coach for
want
the
all
Saints.
these teams like the Jaguars, like the Jets,
Yeah.
Detroit. I want to see a little more competition.
The Chargers. So anyway,
That'll never happen.
who
No.
else? Who else got a job? Chargers hired Brandon Staley, Rams D coordinator, former outside linebackers coach for the Bears. Love the signing. Former Division I quarterback in college. So to anybody wondering how Herbert is going to develop under a defensive mind, well, there you go. He said he doesn't want to force a system on Herbert. He wants to build a system around him. That's already a great sign, in my opinion. And he's looking at a few guys to kind of expand his cabinet with. We're looking at new D coordinator. We're looking at new offensive coordinator potentially, and new special teams coordinator. Clean slate, great defensive mind, and I think this is a defense that needs a push. I think we made Joey Bosa the highest paid player on defense, and this is a guy that's on the verge of a 15, 16 sack season any
Yeah.
year now. I mean, he just needs the help around him.
Yep.
And Melvin Gordon, who plays
Well,
like
you get James Derwin back, and that's gonna. I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be a huge uplift.
that's going to be huge. And then it's just whether or not you move off of Melvin Ingram,
Might be time.
who was only healthy, I believe, 6 games this year. When those two are both on the field, it's sack central. When one of them is gone,
It's-
they double pressure the other guy or triple pressure the other guy, and you can't do anything. We'll also be getting former Notre Dame standout Drew Tranquil. He'll be back, and Kenneth Murray he lit it up last year with tackles. So this is a defense that is looking to get healthy again and make the next step next year. And now you've got a defensive-minded guy on that team. Since good old Marty Schottenheimer, 14-2. So I'm brimming with optimism here.
Falcons. They hired
Yes.
Dean Pease.
Wait, what? No, Arthur Smith. is
No,
their
for
coach.
DC.
Oh, for DC.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
He's coming out of retirement.
Dan Quinn, though, he got a DC job at Dallas. So
Yes.
nice. You go. I mean, it's better than Mike Nolan, but what does that say? Yeah, now we get to see how good of Dan Quinn's defense are going to be without the Legion of Boom. It's the same thing with Gus Bradley going to the Raiders. Great. Because I'll tell you what, he didn't have the Legion of Boom on the Chargers. He still had a stacked squad, but he wound up, what we got was a defense that, despite the presence of Joey Bosa, blitzed the least in the league by a gross amount. So as far as I'm concerned, hey, Vegas, you can have him. And who else got a job? We know the Texans' job has not been filled. Go figure, because they have the Deshaun Watson problem.
Yeah.
That franchise, man.
No one wants to jump into that scenario.
Well, they're
Fuck
gonna.
no.
I mean, somebody's gonna have to give up like 3 first overalls, or I'm sorry, 3 first-round picks to get Deshaun. It sounds like.
Deshaun
what
wants out. Watt wants out.
What do you guys think about Wade Phillips wanting to come out of retirement?
I hope he comes out of retirement to be the D coordinator for my team.
He says, "I'm ready to retire from retirement."
No, seriously, Wade, come back to the Chargers.
Yeah, some of these guys, man, they just can't get away from the game.
Like, but when him and Marty left, our defense went from you can't run to Adrian Peterson running for 297 yards on us. Like, I see no coincidence in that whatsoever. No, Wade Phillips, please come back. Like, he's got a tie to Staley already because they were both on the Rams at the same time. So, I mean, why not? Did somebody else get hired too, or have we covered all of them? Arthur Smith, obviously the Falcons.
We talked about that
That'll be
last
interesting.
week, I think.
Yeah,
But other
that
than-
happened on the show. That broke during the show.
But other than that, no other.
Every other vacancy's been filled.
Yes. As far as head coach, yes.
Colts OC. He went to the Eagles as their head coach.
Sir.
Yeah, good.
Sirianni.
Yeah, Sirianni, however you say it.
Sirianni. Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. Are they the thing about the Eagles is, are they going Wentz or are they going Hurts? And
You
do
gotta
they
go Hurts.
do they find somebody who
I
is confident
think they've
enough
made
in
that
Wentz
And
to
you
take
decision
saw
over?
already.
Washington got the new GM, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was your thought, Adam?
I think they're going Hurts. I think they made that decision up
Yeah,
already.
it's got to be, right?
I think they
mean,
should too.
But here's the scenario with Wentz. What the fuck do you do with that? What do you do with that?
I think you pawn him off on Frank Reich and the Colts, personally.
I mean, that might not be that bad.
That's not even a bad idea.
That's
Really?
his best shot, I
I
think.
think Wentz needs a new start.
He does need a new start.
He's not a mobile quarterback.
Fuck no, he
Well, he's not
tries so
mobile.
hard.
Jalen
dude.
Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is able to kind of make their crappy O-line situation even better.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is like, yeah, he reminds me of like kind of like Russell Wilson. I mean, maybe not the same play style, but like he makes something out of nothing, maybe. But I don't
You
know.
can't have a stationary quarterback with that line.
No,
That's-
fuck no. It don't
So
work.
an hour ago, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
cleared. What? That's the quickest concussion clear up I've seen all year.
Hey,
Well, I mean,
Speaking
it's
of Patrick Mahomes,
on the
that's
line.
another Seahawks coach that they're looking at. They're looking at
Kafka.
Patrick Mahomes
No,
as a quarterback coach.
He's off the table now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I just read that today.
Brady, can you hand me a pen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep track of our needs, our team needs here. So that is the kind of the abbreviated news. Oh, and then Draymond Green got a technical and got ejected from a game last night.
Why is that not surprising?
For yelling at his own teammate.
But you know
And
what,
then
Brady?
they-
I'm not. You don't sound like a Draymond fan, and neither am I. But
no.
if you were to see this, it was pretty bad.
Was it bad?
Yeah, they actually
Yeah.
so bad that they called it back today and said, "Yeah, we fucked up. Sorry."
Wait. Oh, it was bad that they teed him up and all that.
Yeah, they-
The ref in question came out and admitted the mistake.
Well, probably because they're so used to him doing this shit on
I
a
know.
daily basis. But they probably just didn't even really listen to what he did or said. They just like, okay, it's Draymond. I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess that's what happens when you have a rep like that. But
Yeah, a rep of what? You know, being awesome.
what? When? I haven't seen shit this year.
Hey, you know how Draymond's got. The last I checked, he's got 3 more rings than Lillard has.
Yeah, that's true. And at least
Draymond,
one
the
of those
facilitator.
was kind of carried.
Nah, man, first team defense, dude.
Yeah, let's kick people in the balls.
Remember that Dick Kick City?
Yeah.
Steven Adams remembers.
Oh yes, he does. Sure.
Walking around looking like Lance Armstrong now.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's turn the attention away from my favorite player who's seriously declining, and move on to our main event,
Oh, yes.
our
Oh, yes.
snake draft of failure. We have pre-selected the order. We drew them out of a hat. Because we've all got our big boards and stuff planned out for this. So the order will go: Adam, then myself, then Skylar, and then Brady, which actually works out. It's clockwise here, and then he'll
Kind of weird.
and then it'll go forward and back. We are drafting 5 players. The rule is 1 QB, 1 RB, 1 wide receiver / tight end, 1 front 7. That can be a D end, a D tackle, linebacker, or edge. And then 1 secondary, so corner or safety. And you're trying to build the biggest team of failure. And then I will make a graphic like Barstool Chicago does, throw it up as an ad on Facebook, hopefully get some attention to it, and have people vote, hey, whose team is worst? So, with all that pyro and ballyhoo out of the way, Adam, go ahead with. If you're
My
gonna
first pick.
if you're gonna do that, take that outside. I'm just kidding. Adam, go ahead and hit us with your first overall pick. Your 1-1.
My first pick hits a little home for me, growing up as a Chargers fan,
Yep.
and now presiding in the Northwest.
Oh yeah.
So, obviously, my number 1 pick is going to be Ryan Leaf coming out of
Oh
out of the
boy.
Cougars.
Yep.
Ryan Leaf.
What a wasted talent.
probably,
And I'm going to try and base all my picks today
Yeah.
off of failure to compete, not based off injury.
Talk
I don't
about
think it's fair to
talk
call,
about
end a career based on injury a bust.
I've got a couple on my board that are based on injury, but there are some players that I just couldn't bring myself to add. There's some situations I think were worse than others. For one, I better not see any of you pick David Carr, because that's unfucking fair. That has
Yeah,
nothing
that's kind of what I'm talking about.
that has nothing to do with him. That had everything to do with his O-line letting him get sacked 74 times a year. I will. That's a take I will take with me to my grave. That David Carr doesn't deserve the bust label that people just hit him upside the head with.
Yeah, people say the same thing about like Tim Couch.
Yeah. Well, let's tell the tale. No, well, Couch was pretty bad though.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing you were saying.
So let's tell the tale of Ryan Leaf as briefly as we possibly
Locker
can.
room cancer.
1998. Two teams are picking 1 and 2, the Colts and the Chargers. One would go on to pick probably one of the top 5 best quarterbacks of all time.
That's the other thing I was going to say. How do you know that, though? I mean, how do you know Peyton Manning's going to be the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks ever?
And the other picks Ryan Leaf. So the Colts picked Manning. Now, it was the tail of the tape going into this was Peyton Manning, he's mature, he's most NFL ready, but man, Leaf is an athletic freak with the highest ceiling there is. And both teams, it was like, you can't lose. Well, you get the guy who goes out partying and says, oh, yeah, we're going to win 3 Super Bowls and do a parade and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, no. Leaf would finish, for one, he would play 3 seasons with the Chargers. He would finish with an abysmal 48.4 completion percentage, 14 touchdowns to 36 interceptions, and 3,666 yards for an even 50 passer rating for his career. He would get bounced to the Cowboys in 2001 after failing to make the Buccaneers offseason roster. And he would also fail to make the Seahawks roster in 2002 before calling it a day, getting in trouble with the law, figuring himself out, and now he's a college football analyst who's kind of come to God and really matured quite a bit. But definitely, perhaps the worst, probably the worst draft pick ever. But
Yep.
do I sit here knowing that the 1A is off the board? You know, I could sit here and say, oh, what is a boy to do? Or I could pick who I think is the 1B in this situation. I'm going to go with Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there.
Raiders' first overall pick in 2007. And again, it's the athletic freak conversation all over again with this guy. If I pull up his stats, I think they're slightly better than Leafs, but not by much. Dude came in blown up, out of weight or overweight. Matter of fact, if you there was a guy he played, Kirk Morrison, I think it was, who played for the Raiders. He did an interview with Rich Eisen and was telling jokes about telling stories about how Jamarcus got a CD or DVD that had all their plays on it and stuff. They asked him if he watched it. And he's like, oh, they're like, which one do you want to run? Oh, all of them, man. I love all of them. And it was a blank. And how for their rookie talent show, he just shows up with a bunch of money after he held out of his contract and started making it rain with money everywhere.
Yeah, what do you want, like 60 million?
And yes, and that is
Without even touching NFL football?
And that is the big part of what kind of makes this dude a bust is, so high on that list. It's not just his lack of tenure, but also the amount of money that he cost Oakland for so long. This is a guy, he lasted 3 seasons from 07 to 09, and with a 52% completion percentage, take notes, Mr. Leaf, 4,083 passing yards, 18 touchdowns to 23 interceptions, and he fumbled the ball 25 times and lost 15 of those. So, yeah, Mr. Russell, I would say the 1B to Ryan Leaf's 1A, narrowly a better quarterback than Mr. Leaf here. But he cost the Raiders so much money. So next up, we got Skylar.
I'm going to go Joey Harrington.
Ooh,
Okay.
a duck off the board.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you, I don't think he was on my board, but he's certainly up there, especially, and speaking of the Lions,
Big on him is that's when I first started paying attention to college football
Yeah.
around here.
Oh, like local, like Oregon, Washington.
Well, period, but just like that's what got me into college football.
Oh, okay.
He
was
was
watching Joey Harrington.
he was on the cover of a NCAA game
Yeah,
too.
he was.
03, I think. He's actually an analyst now too. Joey Harrington is. I think he's looked back on a little more fondly than these two boys, but maybe that's just because he's such a nice guy. Harrington actually bounced around the league for a little longer than these guys. He lasted from 02 to 05 with the Lions. Had a stint with the Dolphins in 06. In 07, he was part of that quarterback carousel under the Bobby Petrino-led Falcons. With the Bobby Petrino-led Michael Vick-less Falcons. So, I mean, he helped the Falcons in a way get, Matt Ryan. And then he was with the Saints in 2008. Overall, 79 TDs to 85 picks and 14,000 passing yards with a 69.4 passer rating. Not very good. Yeah, just a guy. He just wasn't. Right off the bat, you're on a bad squad. Very Sam Darnoldy, but just wasn't with other opportunities. The Dolphins and well, then I think about it. Those Dolphins were 1-15, and those Falcons were bad enough to get the number 3 overall pick that year. Or no, was it the 1 overall pick that year? Was Ryan the 1-1 in 08? I think he was.
Matt Ryan?
I think so.
I don't know.
Regardless, that was a bad team. And then the 08 Saints were fine, but by then, I mean, he's pretty much over. Yeah, that was a bummer. Oregon, I think he almost set a stigma for Oregon quarterbacks coming into the NFL, though, because it wasn't.
Yeah, really.
He almost did.
I mean,
almost. The key word is almost.
There was, yeah. There's been better ones coming out.
It was another 11 years before an Oregon quarterback got taken in the first round with Mariota, and then of course Herbert, Air Bear. He's great. Oh yeah, no, Joey Harrington, great pick there. And Brady, you are at the turn, so
I get the snake. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pick QB Jeff George from the Colts, 1990. Dude.
Shit, Jeff George.
And
Old man George.
He got that big old contract, right? It was like $15 million, like the biggest rookie contract at the time.
You guys seen that mullet that guy rocked back in the day?
Yeah.
That was holy shit.
But boy, was he terrible. He threw 46 picks and lost 35 games out of 49 starts.
Wow. He stuck around for a while too. Many teams looked at this guy's arm strength and were just like, well, let's give him a chance.
But about a cancer, man. He made rude gestures to the fans and shit. Openly argued to the head coach and just openly in front of everybody, demanded a trade, all that.
How many teams this guy played for? He played for what? The Colts, the Falcons, the Vikings, the
got bounced around for a while.
The Redskins.
Didn't he go to the Saints too?
I think so.
You're right.
Who was it last week that yelled at the coach during the game?
I didn't see it.
Oh, it would have been a good team. I mean,
yeah, but
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Okay, here's what a journeyman this guy was. Colts from 90 to 93, Falcons from 94 to 96, Raiders from 97 to 98, Vikings in 99, Redskins 2000 to 2001, Seahawks in 02, Bears in 04, and then the Raiders offseason practice squad in 06. Damn.
Okay, so then I get to go to my next pick here, right?
Right. And I should add, when the draft is over, I'll kind of go over some players that were on my board that didn't get picked. Kind of honorable mentions, but yeah, go ahead, Brady.
Okay, I'm gonna go running back, and I'm gonna go Lawrence Phillips.
Whoo, okay.
Drafted
Lawrence Phillips.
6th overall by the Rams. Was really good at Nebraska where he played, balling out. But then he got in a lot of trouble when he entered the league. He was arrested and suspended for assaulting his girlfriend, which is a common theme we see nowadays anyway.
Darius guys.
Yeah. He only averaged 3.4 yards per carry, totaling 1,400 yards. Yeah, dude. One thing that's memorable to people is he whiffed on a block. That allowed Williams to knock out Steve Young, and Steve Young pretty much wasn't the same after that. Pretty much forced him into...
Oh, that's right. He went to the Niners for a bit.
He whiffed on a block that pretty much caused Steve Young to get knocked the fuck out and then pretty much forced him to retirement.
He was so bad on that offense, it led to them trading for
he was a
Marshall
total
Faulk.
liability.
Yeah, and then the Rams wind up trading for Marshall Faulk. Get rid of this first-round kid. The greatest show on turf. It's a history after that. And then he indirectly leads the Niners down a very dark path without Steve Young.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Like they get a couple years where you're kind of just with Jeff Garcia, where you're kind of just carrying a glow stick in a cave, and then after that, it's like, oh fuck, that's bad. That's a great pick, Brady. Awesome. And Skylar, we're back to you.
Trent Richardson.
Oh God.
Oh,
Trent Richardson. Yes, this is a guy, poor vision, just would miss giant gaps. And you know what's funny is everybody thought that the Browns were so dumb for trading into the Colts for that first round pick.
Yeah.
And granted, they didn't use that pick very effectively. I think that was the pick that they picked Manziel with the next year.
You could talk about another bust.
Yeah, because he went with the 25 pick. So that 2014 draft was pretty putrid because they took, I think, Justin Gilbert and Johnny Manziel.
Bro, you could put that whole a bust, that whole draft for the Browns.
Do we need to even read his career statistics?
It was pretty rough.
2,032 rush yards, 3.3 rush average, 17 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's
not for being picked that high, no.
Not to mention he had a stint in the CFL, played for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders and the Birmingham Iron, the AAF.
His CFL stats are worse. 259 rushing yards.
Yeah, but you know what? His AAF stats were pretty good, but nobody's going to talk about that. I watched him in the AAF. Brady can attest to that.
Yes.
My first 2 weeks at work.
I didn't watch him, but I think I watched like 3 AAF games.
The AAF is how I know about John Walford, because he was quarterback of the Arizona Hotshots. But I remember like the first couple weeks of me working at Brightline, I'd be telling Brady, "You watch the AAF, man."
Yeah, you got me into it for the short stint they had there. But
so, you know what? 2 of you have taken running backs already. I think the next highest player on my big board, it's one of those things where I'm gonna kind of break the injury thing a little bit, but not really, because when he was active, he wasn't very good. Might be a dark horse to some of you guys. My number 1 wide receiver, I'm taking Kevin White.
oh God, yep, he was one I was looking at.
Kevin White played for the Chicago Bears. This was the draft, the 2015 draft.
I think like 7th overall or something.
7th overall pick. He went just after Amari Cooper, and that was the first round that also had Nelson Aguilar and Devontae Parker. But this guy, he gets hurt, misses his entire rookie season, but even when he was on the field, his career stats just weren't very good. And he had 3...
He only caught like, I think the stat was like 25 passes.
Yeah, so this is how nasty his stat line is. He started a grand total of, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't even say starts. He played in a grand total, including 3 games with San Francisco this year.
Yeah, he finished on the practice squad though, I believe.
He played, he didn't even catch a ball for San Francisco. He just returned kicks.
Yeah, I think, that's
He played in, let's see here, 14 games. 14 games over 3 active seasons with Chicago. He caught a blistering 295 yards for 0 touchdowns. 25 balls, 295 yards, 0 touchdowns. People can get on Mike Williams about not having the production of a number 7 overall receiver, and I will always go, hey, look at Kevin fucking White.
Yeah.
Yes, he missed his entire rookie season, but we've seen players bounce back from stuff like that before. And in 3 active seasons on a Bears team that would have had, Alshon Jeffrey and not much else. And even then, I think they would have gotten rid of Alshon Jeffrey. It's like you can't bump Cam Meredith a little bit to catch some passes. Just not good. His brother Kaiser plays for the Chargers. He's a linebacker.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. We're back to Adam.
All right, I'm gonna go receiver. Justin Blackmon.
Okay.
Ooh, he was on my board. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pick number 5, and it's real unfortunate. Tampa Bay, they actually traded up for him, exchanging a 7th round or a 7th and a 4th, I believe.
Yep.
And Justin Blackman was compared to the likes of Anquan Boldin, T.O.
Yeah.
Just could never get his career even started, really. He had a decent first season, but off the field issues.
Yep, that's unfortunate to see those off the field issues for a lot of this young talent that comes into the league.
Yeah, kind of.
And no one, OSU never really got too much attention as far as
Oh no.
talent goes. I mean, their last draft was Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when it comes to
there's not a
relevant
whole lot of
draft
big names coming out of that school anymore.
That year, I think Blackman and Brandon Whedon went in this first round. Yeah. When the Browns,
Yeah, that's
Browns.
right. Yep.
Browns decided to take a 29-year-old quarterback.
OSU had the NFL fooled that year.
Yeah, they did. Well,
yeah,
and
they
then I think Justin Gilbert was an OSU player as well, and he was awful too. Yeah, that was okay. Great pick there, Justin Blackman, definitely on my board. Just a case of like missed potential, man. Like he had the one season where he played a few games and had about 800 yards, but after that he played like 4 games, got suspended. He was on the Jaguars roster till 2017, and he didn't play a down since I believe 2013.
Jesus.
Terrible. And now he's like 30, 31, and he'll probably never play an NFL game again.
That was his name.
All right, and Adam, you are the you're this round's snake, so let's hear it.
This one's a tough one for me. I'm going to go with the running back. The tough one, man. Reggie Bush.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
He's on
Reggie
my board.
Bush. And he was
I think he was
he
most.
was a long tenured NFL. He played in the league for a long time
Yep.
and just never really. And wasn't he the best running back to ever come out of college?
Yeah, by far. By
definitely.
far. I think he was more famous after that for dating Kim Kardashian than actually his football career.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Right.
this was a guy drafted by the Saints to be, kind of spearhead that new look offense with Drew Brees, who had just come on. Obviously, you had some older guys there, Joe Horn and Deuce McAllister on that offense that were going to be gone soon. And no, Deuce McAllister outplayed the hell out of Reggie Bush all the way up through that Cinderella playoff run that they had. And then even after Deuce McAllister left, consistently he was getting outplayed by guys like Pierre Thomas, Chris Ivory, Curry Robinson. I remember had a better game than Reggie Bush did at one point in time, and I was wondering how teams kept, how the Saints managed to hang on to Bush for so long.
I don't know how that happened.
What I remember most about Bush is that he, his final season when he played for the Bills, he ended with -3 yards rushing. I'll never forget that. He -3 yards.
Holy shit.
I remember watching this. I remember the YouTube video of this dude jumping out of the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've seen shit like
Yeah.
that.
That's some of the most crazy thing I've ever seen.
Oh, the big old dude.
No, it was Reggie Bush who jumps out of a swimming pool.
Bro, I've
No
seen.
hands or anything.
I shit you not. I forgot who it was. It was an NFL player, but he was like a defensive guy, big guy.
Yeah.
He
That's
fucking
even
was
harder.
doing that shit, jumping out of a fucking pool. Like,
Crazy.
that's crazy to see. I couldn't do it.
Overall, just a guy that didn't live up to expectations.
No,
Really.
not at all.
Not at all.
Well, was it distractions?
Uh,
Was it not being put in a system that's going to get the most out of him?
Well, because Leinart came out of that same draft, it was trash too.
Leinart was bad too. Yeah. Yeah. That's. Yeah,
I think it was
I don't
just
know.
more or less, just wasn't all in. Wasn't all in.
But you think about the 06 draft. There was guys out there that were pegged to be like the next big things. I mean, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Vince Young.
Vince Young.
Vince Young is a big bust too. Like,
And I
Do
remember.
you think maybe the scholarship scandal threw him off?
I think
I
a
don't
little
know.
bit. I think definitely a little bit. And
it might have messed with his head.
Bush was running around. I mean, from day one, just like really into more of his own celebrity
Yeah.
status than
That's
he
what I
was
mean.
on the field.
I don't think he was all in. I think he had other things on his mind.
But you
besides
see that a
football.
lot. They think that celebrity status, and
Yeah.
it doesn't
Oh, you see it today all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, he stayed in the league for about 10 years, but he only posted 2 seasons over 1,000 yards. And I mean, just barely over 1,000 yards rushing. It's just not the kind of production that you want. Now, the Saints were infamous for having a committee system at that time. But the thing about a committee is if a guy emerges and just pounds the pavement and just destroys folks, he's gonna you ride the hot hand, right?
Unless you've got a Chubb and a Hunt situation.
Well, that's where you got a tandem, man. That's where you got a 1-2 punch.
Well, even the Chargers used to have that with LT and Michael Turner, and then when Michael Turner finally went in free agency, he lit it up for 1,000 yards or so, or multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons with that. It's just, and Sproles even. It's just the name of the game, but you ride the hot hand.
Yeah.
And Bush never got hot.
Nope, never had cold.
So I've got the next pick. I am the only one who can take a running back, so I can kind of just set that on the back burner, which is good. And I'm going to go to defense. I've got my pick of the litter here. This is tough. This is very tough. I know one of you Seahawks fans is going to take this guy, probably.
Oh, come on.
You fucking cocksucker.
There's a couple there, actually.
I'm not going to take him, but I know who you're talking about.
Well,
there's a couple, so I don't know.
There is a couple, but I think I know exactly who he's talking about.
It's between him or a secondary player. I'm going to go with Aaron Curry.
Okay.
Oh.
Damn, I didn't see that one.
That's a good one, man.
That is.
In all my looking, I didn't even see his name get brought up.
So I'm not, and I'm not going to give away. I think I know who you guys were talking about for the other. I'm not in the market of giving away draft picks, but no, Aaron Curry. He wasn't long for the Seahawks roster, and we're talking about an 2009 draft that was pretty stacked, if I recall correctly.
Hold on, I got it right. I actually have it right here. Players taken after him: Clay Matthews, LaShawn McCoy, Brian Cushing.
Oh yeah, Cushing was good until he got he got hurt. There was some damn good players in that 2009 draft. This is a guy, he lasted 2.5 seasons with the Seahawks from 2009 to the first half of 2011. I remember it making front page news when he got traded to the Raiders, and it was already saying bust.
Yeah,
Seahawks whiff. Trade him to the Raiders, you know. He lasted 2 seasons with them, or a season and a half with them. So we're talking 2, 3, 4 seasons.
Seahawks had quite a few buzz.
He ended with 244 tackles, 5.5 sacks, no picks. It just didn't work, man. We're talking, this is like right before the Legion of Boom started kicking on. This is like, it just was a step in the wrong direction. This was I think the last draft that the Seahawks made before Pete Carroll. This would have been the Jim Mora Jr. year.
Yeah.
And to go number 4 overall and to whiff that bad, they're fortunate enough that Carroll and his guys could extract stars from later rounds so fast in those subsequent drafts that they were able to get back in it. Because Curry, I mean, woof.
Okay, Skyler.
So I'm going to go defensive too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with another Seahawk. The reason I had a mullet as a kid. The Baz.
The Baz.
Brian.
Yeah,
Bosworth.
Was it him and was it Bo Jackson?
Bo
Jackson had a little fucking
ran through him and then through the tunnel on Monday Night Football.
Totally, yeah, dude.
Like, you want to, I mean, you don't use that expression much in football, but you want to talk about putting a guy on a poster? Like,
yeah.
Bo Jackson. And you think about it, Bo Jackson, his football career, it didn't last very long, obviously, because of the hip, you know, him playing baseball and all that. But, man, that's one of the first things. When you talk Bo Jackson, you think two-sport athlete, Bo nose, Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Running over Brian Bosworth and through the tunnel on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, you know,
Bo Jackson broke Tecmo Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, big time.
That's a good pick.
Bo Jackson's one of those players where it was like, with Tecmo Bowl, he was there. I mean, he may as well have been like one of the most hated video game characters of all time.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like
probably.
Hey, you can't pick the Raiders, or else I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna go home.
It's like what, 07 with Michael Vick?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
It's or 04
04.
when he had 100 speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I play NBA
Cheat
Jam.
code, man.
Dude, when my brother Skylar and I, when we play NBA Jam, I'll tell him, you can't be the Magic. And you know why? Because Scott Skiles, I don't know why. Scott Skiles, more so than John Stockton, more so than anybody in that game, drains a three from anywhere.
Like Steph Curry or something.
It's crazy. Like, I remember he would hustle guys at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. We'd be playing NBA Jam, and Skylar would be like, somebody goes, "Oh, NBA Jam. Hey, do you mind if I join you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've never played before." Which is a bold lie.
Jesus.
We've been playing that game since like '97, right? And he's sitting there on like my grandma's Super Nintendo, and he'd sit there and just dish it to Scott Skiles, who's this little white guy, and then drain a three. And the guy's like, okay. And then Scott Skiles, boom, another three, and then a steal, and then another three. Skylar gets up by about 18 points, and the guy goes, Who the hell is Scott Skiles anyway? Like the guy who's playing got so pissed.
Nick Anderson. So, do you guys? I'm probably too old for this one. You guys remember Double Dribble?
Yeah. Oh, corner three. The corner three.
Oh yeah,
thing.
corner three. Larry Bird. He broke that game too.
Yep. Big time. Yeah, they did a joke about it on Family Guy, where he's like, "Hey." He goes, "Hey, Cleveland, we all know how much you love playing double dribble." He goes, "All right, but no corner threes.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
taking advantage of bad software." And then Peter's just like, "Yep, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna take the ball, put it over here. Oh, corner three." He goes, "Stop it, stop it." And he gets like three of them up, and then Cleveland like makes a regular basket, and he goes, "I'm cooking now." And then he goes, "Oh, I'll take that. Oh, corner threes." And then Joe's like, "Yeah, the ref's really letting them play. I gotta respect that." Okay, so that was a great Bosworth pick, man. Yeah, that guy, what? He lasted 3 seasons and went to go act in B movies and stuff. Like,
Okay,
Oh,
I'm at the turn now.
yes.
Okay.
Although we didn't talk a lot about Bosworth.
We kind of
There's
did.
not much to say.
we went
What
on.
else was there to say, man?
We went on and
Bo
talked
Jackson on Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
That's all you got to say.
We go from Bosworth. Oh, remember when Bo ran him over? And then we talk about Bo Jackson and video game bosses. Like, Brian Bosworth, man. The mullet, though. I remember I read a book when I was in high school called Best by Number. And it was like every number in sports and the best players that had that number. And one of them was, they talked about Bosworth. And I guess in college he played with 44. But in the NFL, because their numbers at the time, they wouldn't let him use 44. I think today he could probably get away with it. Because I know linebackers can wear smaller numbers, but back in the day, he couldn't do it, so he had to go with 55.
Oh,
And
yeah, I think you could do that totally today.
like, there's some people that think, man, if he had that 44.
Oh, please.
Probably.
It started going down. He got caught using steroids in college.
Oh, big time.
Well, no shit. Look at him.
There's a great 30 for 30 on him.
I bet there is.
Where him and his son, they go to his old storage unit with all of his stuff in it, and he just breaks down his entire career. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Does he still have a mullet?
No.
It's unfortunate.
I think last recent picture I saw of him, he's got kind of a like almost a military style haircut, and he's got kind of a beard now. It's your pick. You're at the turn.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go receiver,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have to go Charles Rogers from Detroit, man.
Yes.
Didn't have a great career. He ended up breaking his collarbone, and then after that, it was just like, whew. I got hooked on painkillers. Got in trouble with the NFL's drug policy. And then I think, after his sophomore season, I don't think he didn't play another down after that, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, and the sickest part about him, the receiver that went pick number 3, Andre Johnson.
Yeah. It's like,
And so you
could have
think
been you. Could have been you, Detroit.
Andre Johnson goes right after him, and then you move what's funny is, so the Cardinals took 2 receivers in this draft. They took Bryant Johnson in the first round, who really didn't amount to much. But then in the second round, they would take Anquan Bolden.
Yeah.
And so you go Anquan Bolden and Andre Johnson in this draft after him.
And I think that just makes it even worse, right?
It's terrible. Yeah. Charles Rogers. And that's all. And here's the thing. The Lions, they were so known for kind of their draft ineptitude. This would have been, because then
The year after, or the year before, was Harrington. Then they're like, let's get Harrington a weapon. They take the worst one possible. And then a couple years later, they whiff. They were going to take DeMarcus Ware in the draft. They take one of the guys wanted DeMarcus Ware, and then somebody goes, no, take Mike Williams. Take Mike Williams. And that happens. So yeah, good pick, Brady.
And then I'm gonna have to go defense because everybody else has gone defense. It seems like you guys are gonna love this one. Deion Jordan, drafted by Miami in 13.
Another Duck.
Holy fuck, this guy, third overall pick.
Yeah.
I think he made one start for the Dolphins and then on to rack up 3 drug suspensions before his 3rd season.
Hey, but he did get his coach Chip Kelly to trade for him.
Yeah, after failing his physical in 2016, and then he went to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude started 3 games in 2 seasons.
Did he play for the Niners too, or no?
No,
I thought he briefly was on there.
I don't think so.
I think he did.
He might have. But...
Maybe that's just in my head, but I do remember Deion Jordan. I remember thinking, God, this guy's a freak of nature.
I just know he didn't play that much ball.
No.
For being drafted that fucking high.
Oh man, he's actually more sacks than Curry, but less tackles. 108 tackles, 13.5 sacks. Yeah. For as long as he's on the Niners right now.
Jesus Christ, he's still there.
But think about all the guys on that team that are hurt, and you're still not hearing his name.
Well, fuck yeah, probably not. But just think about like a 3rd overall pick. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's an underperformance for sure. Yeah. All right, back to Skyler.
I'm gonna go wide receiver, and I'm gonna go Mike Williams.
Okay, so the former Lion, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
The bad Mike Williams.
I know,
the really bad Mike Williams.
Hey, he played for the Seahawks too.
Dude, we had a lot of fucking...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We love the degenerates. We love getting these
What
guys.
is with this? Like, there's so many of guys on this list that either tried out for or played for you guys.
Because the Seahawks thinks they can...
Leaf, Bosworth, Williams, Curry, George...
Like, I swear the Seahawks think
Jordan.
They
Williams,
think they're these guys, old lady, they can just fix them.
Yeah. 05 to 11, 127 receptions, 1,500 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Yikes. He's worse than I remember, dude. Well,
fucking bad.
Here's the thing, man.
He made my board, too.
I remember at a point in time...
How many busts are going to be last named Williams?
His best season was that 2010 year with Seattle when I think Sidney Rice was hurt and you guys hadn't quite figured out Doug Baldwin and Golden Tate yet, and then Corin Robinson might have still been around, or Bobby Ingram, one of those guys. This was a weird time for Seattle. This was like right at the end of Hasselbeck when he was getting hurt.
Those we call the dark ages.
We're talking about Tavares Jackson and Charlie Whitehurst.
Yeah, those are the dark ages. We don't talk about that
Clipboard
anymore.
Jesus, the pre-Russell Wilson era. Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy, rough. Yeah.
Yeah, hard times to be a fan, but
that's a good.
You gotta stick with it.
So I'm gonna save my running back pick for last, partially because I don't like why I'm gonna pick this guy, but I kind of have to. So I'm going to move to secondary. I'm going to take the first secondary player off the board. And there's 2 that ring out to me. Honestly, the 4 that are on my board, one is kind of by virtue of the players that got taken after him. One is by virtue of, and the 2 are just by virtue of bad play and their short tenure. I'm going to go with the aforementioned Justin Gilbert.
Okay, yeah.
From the Browns, former Cowboy. He just in a draft that was littered with corners. We're talking
what year was this again?
This was 2014. So
that like I told you earlier,
it was a bad draft.
That whole Browns draft could be on this is a bad draft.
In a draft littered with corners, you had Justin Gilbert go, I believe, number 8. And then you had Darqueze Dennard go to the Bengals, where I think he still plays today. He's not like top 10, top 15 corner, but he's held down a job, and he's a big part of that defense.
Good enough to be on the roster.
Jason Verrett, who even despite losing multiple consecutive years to injury, people still remember for his time on the field, and he had a great comeback season with San Fran this year. Mm-hmm. Lit it up, had multiple picks.
And then Bradley Roby, who played with Denver and who played for the Texans, and he's still a starter in this league too. So, but Justin Gilbert's been out of the league since I believe 2016 or 2017. Just never figured it out. And the thing is, he wasn't called on to be the number one corner on his squad. He had Joe Hayden there, and just didn't figure it out, and got bounced pretty early. I remember he got flipped to, I believe, the Steelers pretty early on. Lasted 2 seasons with the Browns, got flipped to the Steelers, and that was it. Done. 1 pick. 42 tackles, 1 pick, 9 deflections in 3 seasons. Gross.
Yeah, that's atrocious.
And I think we are back to Adam for his final 2 picks, and they're both defense.
Yep, I'm gonna go Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Just another guy haunted with off-the-field issues.
And
Couldn't keep his mind right.
That's kind of the
talent was there, unfortunately, and he flashed it.
Yeah,
he flashed his talent, but
it's kind of the theme here, huh?
We didn't get to see that talent in his prime, especially with like Tennessee and then that 1 season in Dallas. I will say though, and then this is where I'll give him props. When he went to Cincy, he kind of had a bit of a renaissance. He got mature. He figured it out. He stayed out of the headlines, and like I said, I don't think he was ever like a top 10 corner, top 20 corner, but he held down that job when he did. But man, those first couple seasons and how turbulent they were, I think we all thought he was going to be out of the league by 2008. Especially that 07 year where what did he do? He punched a stripper or something, and then he got suspended for the whole season. He got suspended for the whole season. Then he turned up, and because of course they did, TNA Wrestling gave him a contract, despite the fact that he couldn't actually wrestle on the show. And they even in spite of that, they put him in a tag team with Ron the Truth Killings, and they had them win the tag team titles. It was but he didn't wrestle or do anything.
Okay.
And they called them Team Pac-Man. So like they didn't even put their own guy over. They was just like Pac-Man Jones. And
what a mess.
The big mess. And I don't think they ever actually lost the titles too. I think they had to strip them of the titles or something weird. Yeah.
Jesus.
Bad.
All right, Mike, back to you.
Back to me for my final pick, and I hate that I got to pick this guy here because we did talk about the injuries and all that, but
is it my pick?
I can't
Hey.
Oh, your pick.
Pick?
It is Adams. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you got the.
You said back to Mike,
yeah.
And you smurfed me, dude.
I'm gonna go D-line with Vernon Golston.
Nice.
Oh yes, dude.
Nice.
He was on my board as well.
He was on mine as well. Vernon Golston.
Yeah, 6 overall, and it didn't pan out.
What year was that?
I think he only played how many seasons? 3 seasons?
Yeah, and he didn't record.
2 seasons.
No, not a
3 seasons all with the Jets.
Not a single sack. Right?
No, nope, not a single sack.
And didn't they pay this man like $18 million too?
Oh wait, yeah.
He secured the bag and didn't even get a sack, dude.
3 years. Hey, 3 years.
Talk about a come up.
42 tackles, no sacks, no forced fumbles.
32 million, 21 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Hey, though, he was the rookie Madden Bowl winner, though.
Who gives a
so
fuck?
He's good at playing video games.
Yeah, that's about all he's good at, apparently.
Yikes! Yeah, Vernon Golston. That was a rough.
Yeah, he was a beast. He had the highest bench press score in the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
37 reps at 225.
Damn, dude.
Just didn't know how to use it, I guess, in the next level.
That's so bad.
I think what was it? Another product of a bad system.
It's either that or it just too much. Too much for him to handle mentally.
You say that, but then you remember the Jets went to the playoffs in 2009, like the year after he got drafted, when Rex Ryan came in and kind of shaped stuff up a bit on that defense. Yeah, I don't know, man, but and
this was Rex Ryan's defense. I mean,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
where to point your finger on it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, man, that was a bad pick. Sorry, not a bad pick. Great pick for this draft. Bad player. Bad draft pick in 08.
Bad draft pick.
Damn. Okay. Good pick there. So for my running back, now I hate that I got to pick this guy because I think had
had he not played in the preseason, he
Oh,
could
I know
have
who
he
you're
could have
talking
gone
about.
down as an all-time, at least an all-time running back for his team.
Very sad.
I gotta pick Kijana Carter.
Yep. That was on my board. That was almost my running back that I picked. And yeah, isn't that a shit situation?
So Kijana Carter, he got drafted first overall, and here's what's saddest about this: the Bengals. So this was an expansion draft in '95. You had the
Yep.
Panthers and the Jaguars, who were set to pick 1 and 2, I think, and the Bengals moved up to get Kijana Carter, part of their new look offense. They were going to pair him with Jeff Blake, Shaken Blake for anybody who remembers, and big time standout at Penn State, where also one Saquon Barkley went. And first play, or not the first play, but the first game of preseason, I believe the third snap, tore his ACL, done for the whole year. And
Pretty
after,
much his career.
upon his return, this is the thing, and the magnitude of how bad an ACL tear was, especially back then compared to now.
Well, yeah, with the science and stuff we have now, it's way different than
I mean,
the recovery process.
With ACLs now, like Melvin Ingram tore his ACL in an OTA in May of 2013, or 2013, and came back, or 13 or 14, anyway, and then came back to play in December of that year. Here, though, we're talking August. Obviously, that would make him miss the entire season anyway, but he just was never the same. He lasted 5 years in the Bengals. Then he took a break in 2000, 1 year with the Redskins in 01. Another year off, couldn't make the Packers squad in 02, and then 2 years spent mostly on IR with the Saints. Overall, just 1,144 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown for 469 yards in his whole career.
Oof.
Yeah, just a bummer.
And to make matters worse for me, it was an acquired pick from the Carolina Panthers expansion.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the icing.
Yeah, so they had
Okay,
to had to trade up to get him.
Yeah, there's been a few busts because with scenarios like that.
Because I think
anytime you're a bust and you were traded up to get to is
That's the worst feeling, I'm sure.
oh, big time, and especially because I've been watching some of those NFL Throwback. They put a bunch of those Caught in the Draft specials on YouTube. And the one on 95 is particularly interesting because they actually interviewed Kijana Carter, and he goes, "Man, yeah, I had one thing that happened that was out of my hands, and it ruined my whole career." And I'm like, "Man, no kidding."
It's very sad.
That draft is actually particularly fun because of the Jets. The Jets fans chanting, "We want Sap, we want Sap," and they drafted Kyle Brady, and
We
everybody
just watched that last week.
so sad. Anyway, Skyler, yeah. And you guys, it's just secondary left.
Yep.
Yep,
I
secondary.
got Morris Claiborne.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. He was on my board for sure.
Oh yeah, he was not on my board.
He wasn't on mine, but
So
I get it.
Morris Claiborne, I remember because I started following the draft pretty religiously around 2012. Mm-hmm. That's when I was really getting into chart and draft position and this kind of stuff. And Claiborne, I remember, surged up draft boards big time. Like just all of a sudden, I believe he was an LSU Tiger, and just went up to who took him again? Cowboys, right? Because I remember he was being consistent.
Yeah.
He's considered the biggest bust in Cowboys draft history.
I was gonna say he was consistently mocked to, I believe, the Buccaneers for a while, and the Buccaneers wound up picking, I believe, Mark Barron that year. I think they traded down. The Cowboys traded up to get Claiborne, and
another scenario.
which
like
is
that.
funny because Barron wound up playing on the Cowboys too later. But no, Claiborne, he did win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs last year, but nobody was talking about him on that secondary. He probably wasn't even a starter.
I doubt it.
He was more famous outside of being a bust and underwhelming in his position. He's perhaps most famous for posting, I believe, the lowest ever Wonderlic score, which was 6 out of 50 points.
Jesus.
I believe the highest score is, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick had a 49 or something like that.
Okay.
That's out of 50. Yeah, a 6 on the Wonderlic is pretty rough. Yeah. I gotta tell you.
Okay, so for my final pick, obviously DB, I'm gonna go with the cornerback Alfonso Smith drafted by the Broncos.
Interesting. Okay.
Second rounder in 2009. But you know, he was pretty uncoachable, is what all the coaches saying. But the reason I picked him is because Josh McDaniels traded his following year's first round draft pick to move up in the second round to draft him. And guess who? Guess who they traded that to? Seattle. And guess who we got? Earl Thomas. So that makes it that much worse.
That's like another dimension to this that I didn't think about.
So it makes it that much worse.
And he only lasted 1 year in Denver.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And it lined that whole thing up for Seattle, and it was just like terrible, man, terrible.
That's so bad. Like that's damn, Brady.
Yeah,
you did your fucking homework on that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So before I run down the teams here, let's go over some honorable mentions. I'm impressed. So guys who didn't get picked. So for quarterbacks, the ones that stick out to me, Akili Smith.
Yep.
Akili Smith might be most famous. I mean, his play was awful, which
just beat up the Pac-12.
His play was another duck. His play was awful, which again led to 4 years of him led to the Bengals being first overall and taking Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Akili Smith though. So everybody remembers that '99 draft, perhaps most for Mike Ditka doing the most insane draft day trade probably ever, where he flipped all of the Saints picks plus I believe a first and a second in the 2000 drafts to the Redskins to move up a spot to take Ricky Williams. They moved up from 5 to 4. Redskins were like, hey, we're cool with Champ Bailey, and then next year we'll take LeVar Arrington and Chris Samuels. But what people don't know is I think we glossed on it on the show briefly months back. They were actually offered to the Bengals first.
Wow.
The Bengals were offered 12 picks or something like that, and they said, no, you're not going to take Akili Smith from us.
Yeah.
And we know how well that turned out.
Just so perfectly, right?
Akili Smith, Tim Couch, Expansion Browns.
He could not be.
It's very similar to the David Carr situation.
Yeah, it's up in the air depending on who you talk to.
But those Browns did go to the playoffs in Couch's final year with them.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
about Jake
under Kelly Holcomb?
Jake Locker.
Jake Locker again. That was kind of he was. When he hurt his shoulder repeatedly, he was done. He just was like, I gotta go. We could talk. Oh gosh, now that we're bringing up names, well, I've got Josh Rosen here, obviously more recent. Jury may still be out on Dwayne Haskins right now, but I think you can kind of put him there for now.
Matt Leinart,
Vince Young. Who are some?
I've got a bust in progress.
Huh?
I got a bust in progress in John Ross.
Yes. Oh, when we get to receivers, absolutely. Who else am I thinking of here? Christian Ponder, Blaine Gabbert, Bortles, although they did have one playoff run. Those were pretty bad. I mean,
this website I'm looking at saying Mariota's the best.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's a borderline.
Injuries for him kind of too.
Yeah.
Brady Quinn never caught on.
If you want to say Mariota, you can say Robert Griffin as well.
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah, Brandon Whedon be another bad one. Now moving on to running backs. Obviously, we talked John Carter, Lawrence Phillips, Trent Richardson, Blair Walsh. Or not Walsh.
Blair Thomas.
Thomas, thank you. Fucking Blair.
Yeah, that was over Sale and Emmitt Smith.
Blair Thomas, yeah. Beanie Wells from the 2009 draft to the Cardinals didn't last very long. I also had Donald Brown, who went to the Colts the same year, played for the Chargers for a couple underwhelming seasons.
LaMichael James.
Ooh, LaMichael James, yeah. You could also say the reason why I wouldn't have said him third round. The guy who played for he got drafted by the Niners. He played for South Carolina. He had that fucked up knee injury. Marcus Lattimore, but you can't even count him because he never even played. And then one of my last ones, David Wilson, who was drafted in the end of the first round by the Giants in 2012. Injuries really hampered him, only played for 2 years. And then wide receiver honorable mentions.
What about Ricky Williams, though?
I can't call him a bust because, for one, Ricky Williams was very misunderstood.
And he did, while he was out for a couple seasons, he did end his career with over 10,000 yards.
Let's see. I got
I
it
mean,
right here.
When he came back, he had some great years.
10,000
When he came back from moving to highlight.
10,009 yards.
10,009 yards. I mean, I can't hate on a guy for that. And this is while they were cracking down on weed as hard as they were. He just needed. I mean, this is a guy who was never. He was very shy, very much introverted, and didn't want to be a public figure with the media. Needed to take some time to figure himself out.
Time to smoke the herb.
Now for receivers, I've got Darius Hayward-Bay, who didn't get drafted. I remember when this draft got made. You know how sometimes on ESPN they'll have Mel and the other guy like grade the picks right off the top. Oh, I give this a B, I give this an A. When Darius Hayward-Bay got drafted, both Mel Kiper and Todd McShay gave this an F. He went number 10 overall to the Raiders in 2009, and this was classic. This was classic Al Davis picking the fastest guy available. He runs a sub 4.3.
Speak of other honorable mentions as receivers, Matt Jones.
Ooh, yeah, the
drafted by the Jags, 21st
the
overall.
prototype, Matt Jones.
He was a very hyper athletic college quarterback, right?
Yeah, big time, and they wanted him to play
Jags,
receiver.
They saw him as the receiver of the future, this and that. Bam, hit with a drug charge in 2008. And then he violated the plea agreement the following year, leading to his release.
Then I've got, let's see, we picked Kevin White Blackman. This is one of those cases where all of the ones, all the receivers picked were on my board. I've got AJ Jenkins, who I believe went in 2012 to the Niners. Never caught on. They actually flipped him for fellow first-round bust John Baldwin from the Chiefs. He was bad. Got to throw a Charger in there. 30th overall, Buster Davis from 07.
Buster.
It's in his. I mean, his real name's Craig, but his nickname was Buster, and that tells you everything you need to know. Corey Coleman, more recently, kept breaking his fucking hand, even though from the Browns again, I kept thinking he was going to be good.
Troy Williamson.
Yep.
Vikings.
Yeah. You could also, I guess, you could throw Josh Doxson and Laquan Treadwell in that lineup too. They've been super underwhelming since 2016. And then for defense, some of the ones I've got here: Courtney Brown, first overall from the Browns in 2000.
Jason Smith.
Oh yeah. Jason Smith was bad
for the Rams.
Tackle. I've got Larry English, 16th overall to the Chargers, a guy who probably should have gone in the 3rd or 4th round when Clay Matthews and Ray Maluga were sitting right there.
Bruce Pickens.
Oh yeah.
Atlanta's like probably worst pick ever.
What was the guy? Andre Bruce. They like tried to figure out just a project. He lasted 11 seasons, but they just couldn't figure out what to do with him, like with his, because he was an athletic freak.
What about more recently?
Patrick Bates.
Yeah.
12th pick off, and only lasted 4 years with off the field.
What about like more recently, like just even a few years ago, Artie Burns?
Oh yeah, Artie Burns. He was a 3rd round guy, but yeah.
Still though, like he was.
Yeah.
He got drafted 3rd round. Artie Burns.
Was he 1st round guy?
Yeah, he was drafted 25th overall by the Steelers.
Oh fuck, then never mind.
And everybody was wondering like,
I kept
what
thinking
the
he's
fuck?
a 3rd round guy.
The Steelers they were like taking a chance on him for whatever reason. But...
Speaking of Steelers draft bust, Jarvis Jones.
Yeah,
he never panned out either.
Yeah,
another bust. I'm thinking of Chiefs. Glenn Dorsey. He wasn't very good either.
Hell, if you want to say receiver right now, Philip Dorsett. What I mean, you could almost
he
say
was a 1st round guy.
I mean, it's still early. He's only like my age. But...
Now for corners, genuinely surprised. 3 of my 4 for secondary were still left on the board. D. Milliner, who went to the Jets. I thought this was like Alabama corners. You got to think like Janoris Jenkins, Dre Kirkpatrick. They both were fine. D. Milliner never caught on, even slightly. And then, of course, I had Justin Gilbert, who I took.
It's interesting seeing some of these players in college and how great and like elite they are.
Oh, yeah.
And then they come into the NFL, this new league, and they just cannot transition. They cannot
look how much
develop.
it happens with Alabama.
Well, yeah, but that just goes to show it's a whole different tempo.
Also, look how many times you mentioned the Jets and the Browns today.
I mean, yeah.
Yes, I've got.
We've thrown the Seahawks in there. Right
Seahawks
up there,
are right up there with them too.
Well, I've got Eli Apple, who I believe he's not on a team right now. He was by his second season described as a cancer in the locker room by teammate Landon Collins. He was taken in that fabled, I mentioned it so much, that fabled 2016 draft that was just stacked.
It was, too.
But he was taken 10th overall and viewed as a reach immediately by analysts, and he didn't pan out with the Saints, didn't pan out.
He's now a free agent. He was with Carolina.
Yeah, didn't pan out with Carolina this year. He got cut. And then another guy, underwhelming, but more by virtue of who was taken after him. I've got Sammy Davis.
Yeah.
Who was taken he was taken by the Chargers in 2003. And this is mostly due to who went after him. So, like, Polamalu went before him. Can't help that.
No.
But you look at the corners after. How about the pick after? Nnamdi Asomugha went right after him. He had some great seasons.
He's an actor now.
Is he really?
No, full-blown, like, grade A movie actor now. He's got a movie on Netflix out.
No shit. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. And he's a good actor.
Before he went to Philly, he was... probably aside from Darrelle Revis, the number one lockdown corner in the NFL.
Yeah, besides Revis Island.
And then you few picks later, Charles Tillman to the Bears, Rasheed Mathis to the Jaguars, who was great. Drayton Florence. So Chargers actually went corner, took the better of the two, even though they didn't take a Pro Bowl corner. The better of the two in the second round with Drayton Florence. Not good for Sammy Davis. Not that he was particularly bad. It's just that when you take that guy and within 5 picks,
outshined.
Within 5 picks, 2 Pro Bowl corners go boom boom.
Yeah,
not a good look.
No.
So I'll do a rundown of the teams real quick.
You might be able to do a segment on front office busts.
Fuck, dude, that'd be fun too.
Like all-time bad coaches or something,
or like
GMs,
or GMs, coaches, whatever.
I'll keep that in the pipeline for sure.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Adam, so first of all, before I run down these teams, are you interested in coming back on a future show to do to draft an all-time worst NBA starting 5?
Absolutely.
All right.
Hell yeah, man.
That's going to be a hell of an episode. So to run down the teams real quick, Adam's team, he had Ryan Leaf, Reggie Bush, Justin Blackmon, Vernon Gholston, and Pac-Man Jones. Brady had Jeff George, Lawrence Phillips, Charles Rogers, Deion Jordan, and Alfonso Smith. Skyler, Joey Harrington, Trent Richardson, Mike Williams, Brian Bosworth, and Morris Claiborne. And I ended with Jamarcus Russell, Keyjana Carter, Kevin White, Aaron Curry, Justin Gilbert.
Go on to the page and vote.
Yeah, go on to the long shots.
Go let us know. I think we should do the winner. If we get enough votes, the winner picks first in the next draft.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
That would be cool.
So what I'll do is I'll make this a poll. Maybe I'll make a graphic and throw this up on the page, and then we will have people vote for the next week and see who turns up with the worst squad. Should be a lot of fun. And then we'll have you on tap, Adam, do the future all-time NBA whiffs draft. That'll be a good one.
That'll be a good one.
All right. So I think
Big pool to pick from.
Yeah.
So I think we've got the show, man. I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Thank you to Adam for coming in, being our first video guest live.
Thanks for having me.
And drafting with us. And we're gonna do more of these. What I'm thinking is we'll do we're even gonna do some more fun ones, some non-sports related ones down the pipeline, maybe a couple times a month.
Mid games.
I was floating one up, drafting your all-time. You got to draft like 5 PS1 games, giving your all-time PlayStation lineup, something like that. So we'll keep those in the pipeline.
We've talked about maybe Twitch streaming me and Brady 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Or whoever, just streaming 2K or Madden or whatever. It'd be fun.
All right.
Adam's in.
You might want to keep me off the Madden stream. A lot of embarrassment coming your guys' way.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So we already know it's in the future then.
Shots fired.
I'm gonna have to go buy 21 just so I can practice up.
Adam's like, you're gonna need it.
All right.
I'm already ranked top 300.
Oh, never mind. I won't practice that much. I got too much Rocket League to play.
I've been practicing for the last 20 years.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, Adam, thank you for hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, man, it's been fun.
We're gonna call it a show.
Sunday.
Definitely.
We'll see you Sunday, buddy.
Bud.
Take her easy, brother.
Have a good weekend.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. All right. So that is our show. And now there's two of us. Hi. Now you're seeing me and
Where the fuck am I?
what is going on?
Brady's there. I'm back in the corner.
It's like now there's two of us.
So yeah, that is our show. Thank you. Thank you for seeing us in stereo. We will be back next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Probably Super Bowl preview and some other cool shite. So yeah. Predictions for the games.
I was gonna say, we gonna do predictions or what?
Real quick, predictions for the games.
God damn.
Packers, Bucks.
I got the Bucks.
I got the Packers.
Okay, so this one is like the toughest one in my opinion. Obviously, we saw how they played last time they matched up. I gotta go Bucks.
Yeah.
I gotta go Bucks.
I don't know why that's high five worthy, but
Because I hate the Packers.
And then we got to go
I don't hate the Packers.
Chiefs, Bills.
Bills.
Give me the Bills.
Give me the Bills.
Please.
Patrick Mahomes has half a brain right now.
Yeah,
so
he's half concussed, but
we all know Heineke's gonna come, or what Henny's gonna come in.
Heineke.
Yeah, I know. I get them too mixed up because of the names, but Henny's gonna come in anyway, probably. But I don't know, man. Let's go Bills. Let's go Bucks.
If Mahomes goes out and Henney comes in, I don't think I could help but root for the Chiefs at that point.
I honestly don't have a dog in any fight.
But
so
I'm a fan of the underdog, so
I do want the Bills. I want the Bills all the way now.
Yeah, me too.
Since the Browns got out, it's Bills.
But like I said, the Bills get rid of Brady, and if they win and the Bucks win, they're gonna have to face him in the goddamn Super Bowl.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
This will be good.
Either way this turns out.
Well, hopefully our predictions come true. Hopefully my predictions come true because I'm tired of Brady in the Super Bowl.
You can't help it.
But we will be
All the
back.
time.
We're going to be doing a Super Bowl preview and then some next week. Keep it crispy, and maybe we'll talk basketball too. And Deshaun Watson, listen, if you want off your team so bad, look no further than your own city and look at what former Rockets star James Harden did.
Yeah.
Just get fat.
Hit the strip club.
Just get
eat some fucking chicken
fat.
wings.
Eat Haagen-Dazs. Lots and lots of Haagen-Dazs.
Or Haagen-Dazs. I mean, that's
Do-
your
Ben
thing.
and Jerry's Haagen-Dazs sucks.
Do what Ryan Gosling did
Ben and Jerry's for
when he
sure.
was trying to get that movie role.
legit.
Do what Ryan Gosling did and just drink melted ice cream until you gain like 67 pounds.
God.
And then this is true. This is true. He was auditioning for The Lovely Bones. He thought that the dad should be fat, so he drank melted ice cream until he gained about 60 pounds. And he walked in and they said, "Dude, you look terrible." And
Are you wearing your girlfriend's socks?
no, these are mine. They're SpongeBob.
That's bikini bottom
Oh,
asshole.
all right.
Yeah, goddamn, dude. Anyway, yeah. So just do that. Just drink melted ice cream until you get fat, and then they have to flip you. And you know what? You might be helping them out on the way out too, because then they won't charge teams 3 first round picks for you because you'll be fat.
Or just sit like the rest of them.
Just
Don't sit. That's
No.
I hate that.
get fat.
Fucking hate that.
Get
Well,
fat. Ask
they
James
should
Harden.
They should trade them then.
Ask James Harden for tips. Get fat. Anyway, that is all. That is my stance on this.
All right, Mike.
All right.
Well, adios.
Check you later. Keep